You need a garage bar. You do. You do. Going out and drinking with your friends is too expensive. By the time you guys have a couple of drinks and maybe a bite to eat, it's gonna be $100 a pop. Too much. So you might be wondering, how does building my own garage bar solve that? Well, you can actually do it for almost free, if not free in a lot of ways. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. But first, let's talk about garage bars. I don't know about you, but I've always wanted one. I've always thought about the idea, but I never thought I could have the space or the time or the money to do so. And if you're a family man like me, you might be wondering or feel a little bit guilty about spending so much money on something that appears to be on the surface so unnecessary. We'll talk a little bit later about how it might actually be necessary depending on the type of person you are. And I don't mean in the alcohol sense. But I could never seem to give myself permission to want to build something like that, because how could I take that money away from my family? Now, don't get me wrong, I still indulge a little bit. You can see some of my nerdy hobbies in the back there. But when it comes to building a whole bar, my impression was always, it's gonna cost a crap ton of money, right? Hundreds of dollars to get it done right. Well, I can tell you, after a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, and a lot of research, not only does it not cost a lot, but a lot of it we'll be able to do for free. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do on this channel. As I go through my bar build step by step, I'm going to show you how you can accomplish the same things I did in your area for the same amount of money, which is hopefully none. There's some places we're going to spend money, but then I'm also going to show you how you can get those things at discounts or cheap. I said earlier, need a bar. That's a weird phrase, isn't it? Why would you need a bar? Now, I'm not talking about drinking irresponsibly. Of course, anything I advocate is going to be for those who are able to drink responsibly. And if you need help for that, there's going to be links in the bio. But if you are rolling cool, then it's not about the drinking. In fact, this bar you can also make for yourself even if you don't drink. How about you make yourself a coffee bar? Do you know how many cool gadgets there are out there for coffee lovers? You can make a tea bar. You can make a place just for people to come and hang out and sit around and enjoy whatever types of drinks they like, whether it's beer, cocktails, tea, coffee, milk. On second thought, don't invite those people over. But why would you need a bar? Well, it's like I said, it's not about the alcohol, it's about the personal space. It's about having a sanctuary for yourself where you can give yourself permission to let everything go. And a garage is a great place for that. If you want to do this garage build or this bar build in your backyard, go ahead. I don't discriminate. But the garage is also a great place because it is enclosed off. And in many houses, it's already insulated, which is a bonus. However, it's not perfect, as you can tell, even in the middle of summer. But it's still an environment that you can close off and make your own. And that's what I'm going to talk about on this video. And then I'm also going to post the start of the build right after this one. So if you found this video, the next one's already available. And you can see how I started planning it out and how I collected all the lumber, or almost all of it, for $0. The idea of a person having their own personal space has been around forever. Man cave, she shed, whatever, take your pick. Everybody likes to have their space. And with the economy going the way that it is and prices increasing everywhere, groups of friends are looking for more places to hang out. You can always hang out in your living room, but let's be honest, it's not the same as going out to have a couple of drinks. So what we're going to be doing on this channel is not just building, like I said, a pallet box for you to put your drinks on. We're going to be building an environment that when you go in there, whether it's by yourself or with your friends, you're in a new place. You get that mental switch that happens when you go out to drink somewhere. But in this place, the drinks are at cost and only the cool people pick the music. So what do you do if you don't have space? Now, just a couple of weeks ago, this whole garage was pretty much filled wall to wall, or most of it, with shelves full of junk. So a few things you can do. A buddy of mine that built his own garage bar, and maybe someday we'll feature it on the channel, is he kind of put everything with some really good organization, or at least that's the end goal. Really good organization, you can put all of your stuff on one side. There are shelf solutions. You can build your own. There's a lot of videos on that. Or just kind of shove everything over there in the meantime, right? You don't need everything to be perfect to get started. Give yourself permission to give yourself a garage bar and figure it out as you go along, which is what we're going to be doing on this channel. You're going to be figuring it out with me as I do. I got a pretty good idea, and I have a lot of experience with DIY building things and environment design. So I got a little bit of skill, but you don't need any to get started. So you can put everything on one side of your garage. What I did, if you're lucky enough, and I'm aware of that, to have space in your backyard, I actually bought a shed. Now, don't get me wrong, it's crap and it took me way too long to set up, but it was big enough to get all the stuff that I had on my shelves and put it in there. If you can find a way to do that, that's an excellent solution. That one is not cost saving. I'm aware of that. Unfortunately, there are just some things you're gonna have to do, but you can put stuff off to the side. Right here, you're looking at one wall of my garage. I got the door to go inside. I got this beautiful water heater, which I'll show you how to cover up later. But one wall is all you need, even half a wall. It all depends on how many people you expect to have over. If it's not a lot, even if it is a lot, people just want an environment. So I'm gonna show you how, or we together are going to put together an environment, like I said earlier, that gives you that feeling when you get there that you used to get when you went out a lot. But now you can step into it even if you don't have a lot of space. So let's say you have the space, or you figured out how you're gonna get it. You're gonna spend this upcoming Saturday shoving all your crap to one side, do it organized so things are easy to find later. But then you have a partner, you live with somebody, right? Usually if someone's in a garage, that means they're in a house, it means they got multiple people. And you have to explain to them why you wanna do this, or convince them, although I don't know about that. But talk to them about it. Explain to them that it's not just a place to get drunk, although that's up to you, might or might not happen. But it is a place that you're going to design as a space, a sanctuary for you, and maybe for them if they like to join you. I know my wife does. She's actually very excited for this. I kind of lucked out on that. It's space for you and them and your friends to go, and then pitch the money-saving angle, see? Right? Be like, oh, maybe not give full receipts, but it's just like, when I go out with the boys or with my friends, you know how much I spend on this and that, but if we do it at home, it's going to save us tons of money. And if your partner is a mathematical person, write out a spreadsheet if you got it. Put down the math. You can even explain how, hey, I'm gonna have friends over. They're gonna bring a 6-pack, a 12-pack, a bottle. They're gonna pitch in, because when you start having your friends over and you tell them that they're not gonna be spending $9 a beer anymore on their nights out, hanging out with you, they're probably gonna be pretty happy to drop a 6 or 12 pack into your fridge. And if they're not, get new friends. Like, what the hell? So pitch that to your partner and trying to convince them. And if your partner's not much of a drinker, but they're a coffee person or a tea person, like I said, there's tons of gadgets that you can do. You can be like, all right, well, we're gonna have a little tea shelf. In fact, one of the projects we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna show you how to set up a soda bar for people who don't wanna drink. In fact, I'm gonna be having my kids out here, randomly. In fact, I'm even gonna be putting up a projector. That'll be another channel project. So me and my son can come out here, kick back, make up some sodas, and watch Kung Fu movies all night long. So you can also pitch it as a place for the family to hang out if you got one. Now, this whole channel is really going to be about saving money. Almost everything that I do, I'm going to show you how to do so and save money accomplishing it, so you can get the whole package with very little money. Even the soda bar. It has to do with getting a soda stream-like device and hooking that up. Well, I'll go over that another time. But basically, pitch it that sanctuary for you, your friends, your family, for everybody. And you can add whatever that your partner needs in order to have a good time there too. So whether you've always wanted a garage bar, never thought you could build one until now, or haven't even thought about it before you saw this video, subscribe to the channel. That way you can follow along with me, with us, as we build it together. And when I say us, I mean us. I'm going to be starting a Discord. In fact, link's going to be in the bio where you can join, because I don't just want to yap to a camera. I want to talk to you. I want to see your garage built bar ideas. I want to see your drawings, your plans, and when you start it, I want to be there and with everybody else who's joining us, because I want to see this come together. I want to see people stop going out and spending way too much money on these overinflated prices and instead have fun in their own home. So subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, because new channels need as much exposure as we can get, right? And then click on the next video. That's probably going to be over the shield. I'll put it over the shield here. And watch as I clear out this space and start talking about how I found almost all of the lumber I'm going to be using for free and how you can find it too.